Sarah and Ahmed had been married for 5 years. They came from modest backgrounds, where dreams of a better life were often just dreams. Both had grown up in small villages, but they always knew they wanted something more. They dreamed of a life with better jobs, more money, and better opportunities for their children. Ahmed had a job at a factory, and Sarah worked as a teacher. It wasn't a perfect life, but they were content. Still, they wanted more. They wanted to give their children a chance at a brighter future, one they never had. They saved every penny they could, working long hours and made sacrifices. They hoped their hard work would pay off. Sarah often told herself, "If we work hard enough, we can give our children everything they deserve." Ahmed too believed this. But somewhere along the way, things started to change. The pressures of work, money, and trying to build the life they dreamed of became overwhelming. The stress began to take a toll on their relationship. The once joyful conversations about the future turned into arguments about money and the sacrifices they were making. Ahmed worked late, and Sarah often felt lonely. She tried to keep their home peaceful, but the cracks in their relationship were starting to show. Despite all their efforts, they never seemed to get ahead. Their dream of a better life felt just out of reach. Ahmed's stress grew, and Sarah's loneliness deepened. Both were starting to question whether the dream was worth the price they were paying. One day, Sarah noticed Ahmed had started coming home late more often. At first, she didn't think much of it. He was working hard, and she understood that. But as the days passed, she began to notice that he wasn't as present as he used to be. He was distant, spending more time on his phone, and less time talking to her. It didn't take long for Sarah to start feeling insecure. "What's going on?" she thought to herself. "Why isn't he talking to me like he used to?" One evening, Sarah decided to confront Ahmed. She asked him gently, "Is everything okay? You've been acting different lately." Ahmed looked at her, a little surprised. "I'm fine, Sarah. Just tired, that's all," he replied. But Sarah could see the lie in his eyes. He was hiding something. The next few weeks were filled with tension. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. She tried to be understanding, but it was difficult. One evening, she found an unfamiliar number on Ahmed's phone. It was a name she didn't recognize. Her heart sank. Sarah didn't know what to do. Should she confront him again? Or should she just let it go? She felt torn between her love for Ahmed and the fear that her worst fears might be coming true. But she couldn't ignore the signs. Ahmed was changing, and it hurt her deeply. One night, Sarah decided to look through Ahmed's phone. She felt guilty, but her curiosity was stronger than her doubts. What she found shattered her world. Ahmed had been texting a woman named Amina. At first, the messages seemed innocent, but as she scrolled through, she saw how the conversation grew more personal. They were exchanging flirtatious messages, talking about feelings that were far beyond friendship. Sarah's hands trembled as she read the messages. Her heart raced. "How could he do this to me?" she thought. "How could he betray our family like this?" The weight of the discovery was unbearable. Sarah felt sick, both physically and emotionally. She sat on the edge of the bed, unable to move or think clearly. The dreams they had built together seemed to crumble in that moment. When Ahmed came home that night, Sarah was waiting for him. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She didn't need to say anything. Ahmed could see the pain in her face. "Sarah, I can explain," he stammered, his voice shaking. "Explain?" Sarah's voice was cold, though her heart was breaking. "What is there to explain, Ahmed? I saw everything." Ahmed lowered his head, ashamed. "I never meant for it to happen. I was just so stressed, and she listened to me. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, but I realize now that I was." Sarah didn't know what to say. She felt betrayed, hurt, and lost. The dream of a better life they had worked for had turned into a nightmare. Ahmed's apology seemed empty, like words he had said too many times. The days after the discovery were filled with silence. Sarah didn't know what to do. She loved Ahmed, but she couldn't ignore the pain he had caused. The trust between them had been broken, and she wasn't sure if it could ever be rebuilt. Ahmed tried to make amends, but Sarah wasn't sure if she could forgive him. She thought about the future. What would it mean for their children if they stayed together? Would they be better off living in a home filled with mistrust and pain? Or would it be better for them to part ways and heal? One evening, Sarah sat down with Ahmed. I don't know if I can forgive you, Ahmed, she said softly. But I also know that I can't keep living like this. I want a better life for myself and for our children. Ahmed nodded, tears in his eyes. I understand, Sarah. I never wanted to hurt you. I don't know how to fix this, but I'll try if you give me a chance. Sarah thought long and hard. She knew that love wasn't enough to fix everything. They had built their dreams together, but dreams alone couldn't heal the wound in her heart. Finally, Sarah made the difficult decision. I think we need some time apart, she said, her voice steady but filled with sadness. Maybe this is the only way for both of us to find the life we truly deserve. The next few months were a time of reflection and healing for Sarah. She focused on herself and her children, slowly rebuilding her life. Ahmed, too, took time to reflect on his mistakes and what he wanted from the future. Though their dreams of a better life had been shattered, Sarah learned that sometimes, a better life meant healing and finding peace within herself. And maybe, just maybe, that was the new beginning she had always dreamed of.